The average charge for permit pulling can vary quite a bit. It really depends on where you are and how complicated the project is. You might cost anywhere from $200 to $1,500. The big question is, can someone who is not licensed actually pull permits? In most places, it is only licensed professionals who are allowed to pull permits. This is because getting permits involves having technical knowledge and being an expert in making sure the project follows all the building codes and safety rules. Usually, people without a master's degree in a related field are not considered qualified to handle permits. There are several risks involved if someone tries to pull permits without the right qualifications. Firstly, you could end up with invalid permits. People who are not licensed might not know how to fill out the permit applications correctly. Secondly, there could be code violations. If the project is not built according to code, it could create safety problems and potential legal issues. Thirdly, permit delays are possible. If the applications are not filled out properly, it can take longer to get the permits approved, which can delay the project and increase costs. Fourthly, liability becomes a concern. If the project does not meet code and causes damage or injury, the person without the license could be held responsible. So, permit pulling is not a simple task. It requires specialized knowledge and expertise. It is generally not something that should be done by people who do not have the right qualifications or a relevant master's degree. Trying to pull permits without being properly qualified can lead to serious risks, and it is generally not recommended. The reason that jurisdictions want to ensure that projects meet certain standards and comply with codes is primarily for safety. Firstly, building codes are designed to ensure the structural integrity of buildings. This means that the building can withstand various environmental forces such as wind, snow, and earthquakes without collapsing or posing a threat to the occupants or surrounding properties. Secondly, codes address fire safety, including requirements for fire-resistant materials, fire suppression systems like sprinklers, and proper exits. These measures significantly reduce the risk of fires and ensure that occupants can safely evacuate a building in case of a fire. Thirdly, electrical codes are in place to prevent electrical shocks, fires, and other hazards. These codes regulate the installation and maintenance of electrical systems, ensuring that they are safe and reliable. Fourthly, plumbing codes are designed to protect public health by ensuring that water and sewage systems are properly installed and maintained. This prevents contamination of drinking water and the spread of waterborne diseases. Fifthly, codes mandate proper ventilation to ensure indoor air quality. Good ventilation reduces the buildup of pollutants, allergens, and other harmful substances, creating a healthier indoor environment. Sixthly, accessibility standards ensure that buildings are accessible to people with disabilities. This includes requirements for ramps, elevators, accessible restrooms, and other features that make buildings usable by everyone. Seventhly, energy efficiency codes help reduce energy consumption and lower utility bills. These codes set standards for insulation, windows, and HVAC systems, promoting energy conservation. Eighthly, codes also address the environmental impact of buildings. This includes requirements for stormwater management, waste reduction, and the use of sustainable materials. Ninthly, compliance with building codes can also reduce the risk of legal liabilities. Building owners and contractors can be held liable for damages or injuries resulting from code violations. Tenthly, permits and inspections are a crucial part of the process, as they help to ensure that buildings are constructed according to the applicable codes and standards. Inspectors check the work at various stages of construction to verify compliance and identify any potential problems. 11thly, codes are updated regularly to reflect new technologies, materials, and construction practices. This ensures that buildings are built to the latest standards of safety and performance. 12thly, following codes helps prevent future problems by ensuring that buildings are constructed correctly from the start, which reduces the likelihood of costly repairs, renovations, or even demolition in the future. When considering the cost of pulling permits and the associated fees, it's also important to consider the long-term benefits of code compliance. Firstly, code-compliant buildings are generally more durable and require less maintenance over time. This can result in significant cost savings in the long run. Secondly, buildings that meet energy efficiency codes can save a substantial amount of money on utility bills. This is especially true for buildings with high energy consumption, such as commercial buildings and large residential properties. Thirdly, code compliance can increase the value of a property. Buyers are often willing to pay more for a building that is known to be safe, well-maintained, and code compliant. Fourthly, adhering to building codes can help prevent accidents and injuries, which can reduce the risk of liability claims. This can save building owners a significant amount of money on insurance premiums and legal fees. Fifthly, building codes can help protect the environment by reducing energy consumption, promoting the use of sustainable materials, and preventing pollution. This can enhance a building's reputation and attract tenants or buyers who are environmentally conscious. Sixthly, code compliance can help ensure that a building meets the needs of its occupants. This includes providing a safe, comfortable, and accessible environment. Seventhly, building codes are often updated to reflect new technologies and construction practices. This means that code-compliant buildings are more likely to be equipped with the latest features and amenities. Eighthly, complying with building codes can help prevent future problems such as structural failures, fires, and water damage. This can save building owners a significant amount of money on repairs and renovations. Ninthly, adhering to building codes can help ensure that a building is insurable. Insurance companies may be reluctant to insure buildings that are not code compliant or may charge higher premiums. Tenthly, compliance with building codes can help ensure that a building meets all applicable legal requirements. This can prevent costly fines and penalties. 11thly, building codes can help protect the community by ensuring that buildings are safe, durable, and environmentally responsible. This can improve the quality of life for everyone in the community. 12thly, following codes also ensures the longevity of your property. Now, let's consider some of the complexities involved in the permitting process. Firstly, understanding the specific requirements of the local jurisdiction is critical. Each city, county, or state may have its own unique set of codes, regulations, and procedures. It is important to research and understand these local requirements before starting any project. Secondly, accurately completing the permit application is essential. The application must include all required information, such as detailed drawings, specifications, and calculations. Errors or omissions can lead to delays or rejection of the permit. Thirdly, providing detailed and accurate drawings and plans is a must. These drawings should clearly show the scope of the project, including dimensions, materials, and construction methods. They should also comply with all applicable codes and standards. Fourthly, obtaining the necessary approvals from various departments or agencies is crucial. Depending on the project, you may need approvals from the planning department, fire department, health department, and other agencies. Fifthly, scheduling and passing inspections is mandatory. Inspections are conducted at various stages of construction to ensure compliance with the approved plans and codes. It is important to schedule these inspections in advance and ensure that the work is ready for inspection. Sixthly, addressing any issues or corrections identified during inspections is important. If the inspector identifies any issues or corrections, you must address them promptly and schedule a re-inspection. Seventhly, keeping accurate records of all permits, inspections, and approvals is crucial. This documentation may be required for future reference or for the sale of the property. Eighthly, understanding the appeals process is important in case a permit is denied or an inspection fails. You have the right to appeal the decision, but you must follow the proper procedures and deadlines. Ninthly, working with qualified professionals can greatly simplify the permitting process. Architects, engineers, and contractors can help you navigate the complex requirements and ensure that your project complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Tenthly, staying up to date with changes in codes and regulations is crucial. Building codes are constantly evolving, so it is important to stay informed of any changes that may affect your project. 11thly, managing the costs associated with permitting can be challenging. Permit fees, inspection fees, and other costs can add up quickly, so it is important to budget accordingly. 12thly, having patience and perseverance is essential. The permitting process can be time-consuming and frustrating, but it is important to remain patient and persistent. Now let's talk about the potential consequences of not obtaining the necessary permits. Firstly, construction without a permit can result in stop work orders. The local authorities can issue a stop work order, which will halt all construction activities until the required permits are obtained. Secondly, fines and penalties can be assessed. Construction without a permit can result in significant fines and penalties. The amount of the fine will depend on the jurisdiction and the severity of the violation. Thirdly, legal action can be taken. In some cases, the local authorities may take legal action against the property owner or contractor for constructing without a permit. Fourthly, insurance coverage may be denied. If a building is constructed without a permit, the insurance company may deny coverage in the event of a loss. Fifthly, property value can be diminished. Construction without a permit can reduce the value of the property. Buyers may be hesitant to purchase a property that has unpermitted construction. Sixthly, difficulties selling the property may arise. Selling a property with unpermitted construction can be difficult. Buyers may require the seller to obtain the necessary permits before closing the sale. Seventhly, required demolition of unpermitted work can be mandated. The local authorities may require the property owner to demolish any construction that was done without a permit. Eighthly, safety hazards can be created. Construction without a permit may not comply with building codes, which can create safety hazards for the occupants of the building. Ninthly, liability issues can arise. The property owner or contractor may be liable for any damages or injuries that result from unpermitted construction. Tenthly, problems with future renovations or additions can occur. Unpermitted construction can create problems with future renovations or additions. The local authorities may require the property owner to bring the unpermitted construction into compliance with the codes before approving any new work. 11thly, difficulties obtaining financing can occur. Lenders may be hesitant to provide financing for a property with unpermitted construction. 12thly, a negative impact on the community can occur. Construction without a permit can have a negative impact on the community by creating unsafe or unsightly conditions. So, what are some of the reasons why people might attempt to pull permits without proper qualifications? Firstly, they might think it will save them money. They believe they can avoid the fees charged by licensed professionals. Secondly, they might underestimate the complexity of the permitting process. They do not realize the technical knowledge and expertise required to navigate the regulations and codes. Thirdly, they might be unaware of the risks involved. They do not understand the potential consequences of non-compliance, such as fines, delays, or legal liabilities. Fourthly, they might be trying to cut corners. They are looking for a quick and easy way to get the project done without going through the proper channels. Fifthly, they might have a false sense of confidence. They believe they have enough knowledge or experience to handle the permitting process themselves, even without proper qualifications. Sixthly, they might be under pressure from clients or employers to save time and money. They feel compelled to take shortcuts to meet deadlines or budget constraints. Seventhly, they might be operating in a grey area or a loophole. They believe they can exploit a technicality or ambiguity in the regulations to avoid the requirements for licensed professionals. Eighthly, they might be simply misinformed or uninformed. They do not have accurate information about the permitting process and the qualifications required. Ninthly, they might be facing a lack of access to qualified professionals. They are unable to find or afford a licensed professional to assist them with the permitting process. Tenthly, they might be motivated by a desire for control. They want to maintain control over the project and avoid relying on external parties. 11thly, they might be trying to avoid scrutiny or oversight. They do not want to expose their project to the scrutiny of building inspectors or other regulatory authorities. 12thly, they might be driven by a sense of defiance or distrust of the system. They believe the permitting process is unnecessary or overly burdensome and are determined to circumvent it.